Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Brunch of the Dead, a meal you could afford to miss.
Directed by and starring Marc Azevedo, Scott Baker, Philip Stimmell, and Lisa Garibaldi. This movie is about a small town in which a newspaper carries the virus that turns people into zombies. This outbreak happens around 11 a.m. I imagine. It's brunch. And some local townspeople need to try and stop it. This was a weird movie sent to us by one of our viewers, Digital Product, who's a DJ in California for Rich Rocka. He found this movie in like a thrift store, and it was on like a burnt disc. And he's like, you guys need to see this because I can't find it on the internet. And sure enough, like it's not on IMDb. You can't find anything about this movie except for on ZMDB. There's one small little article about it. It's a 50-minute movie that looks like it was made by a couple friends. So we're gonna review it now. What do we like?
I absolutely loved the special effects in this movie. If there's one thing you could take away from this very low-budget film, is they knew what they were doing with their practical effects. And there's lots of it. Like, I'm not just saying like the zombie makeup, I'm talking about the gore and like faces being ripped off or melted.
Let's not say that these are all stellar, but they were better than other really low budget movies that we've seen. Some things are fucking very questionable, but they definitely tried. I like that this group just went out and made a movie. Like, they had no intention of getting distribution, it seems. Like, they don't talk about it. I found the people online. There's nothing about this movie attached to them, which is interesting. But they just went out and they made a movie, and not only were they directors, but the directors were the actors, and they also played multiple characters each because, I mean, everybody's wearing a wig or wearing face paint or some kind of disguise so that they could play multiple people. Now, this movie wasn't funny like the way that they were trying to make it funny. It was funny in the way that you will laugh because it's really terrible.
I actually didn't mind the humor in this film. There is a lot of the jokes I disliked, but overall, you do laugh at this movie. Like, you can't help but laugh at how bad it is. It's like watching a cringe comp. You're gonna laugh at it, even though you know you shouldn't be.
This just in. Every zombie movie does have its titty scene.
Now let's get on to our dislikes. The biggest issue with this movie, well, there's a ton of them, but the biggest issue is that it's just a shitty movie. Like, it's shot terribly. It's like every aspect of the movie is very low quality.
No, you can't use her right here for my project. And besides, she's pregnant.
All the better. More test subjects.
We could go on and on about how the shots weren't framed correctly. The audio was terrible. You're getting like background noise to like hard cuts and then music in the background, and nothing really matched up, but it's there. We're just not going to be like, hey guys, come on. Because they clearly aren't like filmmakers.
Or they are maybe now, and they're trying to like put this one under the rug, you know?
And you know what? The acting isn't the best, but it's not the worst from certain people. Like, there are like some really bad actors in this movie.
I was late to work this morning. I overslept. What's going on?
I don't know. This whole place has just gone crazy.
And that's just what adds to the charm, but it's worth noting they're not good actors.
I'm heading out. Take it easy. You have a good one. Thanks, you too.
Wait! It's hot. I just brewed it.
Thanks, man.
And their continuity drove me nuts. There's this one girl who's also the director who has this mole on her like cheek, and not only does it like switch sides and position, but sometimes it's just like absent from scenes. Even if it's the same conversation, like it'll switch to her with a mole, switch back to the other guy, switch back to her, mole's gone. It's like they just didn't care. And there's even like the stupid scenes where there's just a guy standing in a cabin and they green screened him, even though they're actually in that cabin. Like, there's no reason for this green screen thing. There's just like a clown, he gets shot and he gets blown back, and they green screened it. It wasn't necessary at all. He just could have walked back.
To go back to the humor of this film, this is potty humor, and it's not funny. It really is not funny.
I know.
There's constant fart jokes. There's constant poo jokes everywhere. I don't know why people think this is funny. Like, it really isn't that funny.
I agree. What I do think is funny was their reuse of shots. The most blatant one is a special effect where there's a hunter in a woods and he's killing a zombie. He shoots the zombie, cool head explosion. Gotta give him props for that. And then another zombie that looks very similar strolls up on him and he shoots him in the head, and it's identical. And it's not like it's a quick shot of a practical effect. It's like it's evidently in a different spot with the same damn zombie. This clown car that just keeps driving around, and it's always the exact same shots.
Hey, look, there's a car coming.
And they just keep replaying it anytime they need to go to a new location.
This film also lacks in pacing, and this is a 50-minute film. Like, it's not even that long of a film, but it drags on. Like, it actually feels like it drags on. Nothing is happening that we haven't already seen or isn't that exciting. It's very boring.
And like a lot of the times we'll say, oh yeah, it's like they just kept repeating scenes. This one literally repeated scenes. Like they just took the same footage and put it in different spots to, you know, make their movie more complete, I guess. It's just weird. I don't know why they just didn't reshoot some things.
And like they always cut back to the diner filled with zombies just having a buffet. They did it about 4 times in the film, and like it was on for about 3 to 5 minutes. So there's almost 20 minutes of a 50-minute movie that had nothing to do with the story than zombies eating at a diner.
Well, the name is Brunch of the Dead, John.
It had nothing to do with the characters, though.
No, and it had nothing to do with the movie. Like, the title Brunch of the Dead and the diner really have nothing to do with anything. I don't know why they really clung to that Brunch of the Dead. This is going to be the best. Zombies eat food at a diner as B-roll, which do not interact with the main characters. It's completely separate storylines. So why is it happening? I don't get it. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Brunch of the Dead is not a good movie. Not by a far stretch. But it definitely tried. They were very ambitious when it came to their special effects. Unfortunately, everything surrounding them was awful. And even the special effects were not that great. I mean, the face rip looked fucking ridiculous. It looked like tissue coming off of a painted face. Let's be honest. But it's the kind of movie, if you have the option to see, that you should watch with friends and just get drunk and make fun of a bad movie. This is a birdemic kind of movie. I wouldn't put it quite that far because this was intentionally trying to be funny, but not in all of the aspects. But it's not the kind of movie you can give a high rating to by any means. So I'm going to give this 1 zombie rat out of 5.
I think there's something wrong with her. Maybe she...
A lot of people say they want to make a movie and they just don't. These 4 people went out there and they did something. It's not a great movie by any means. It's not even a good movie. It's just one of those movies that, yes, you can watch to make fun of, and there are things that you're going to enjoy. The odd joke you'll laugh at. The special effects is really where this film stands on its own. It's just good for what the quality is. So with that being said, I'm going to give this film 1 hitchhiking zombie out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts if you've seen it. Doubt you have. There's no links in the description because you can't find it. If you do have like a weird, rare movie like this that you can't find on the internet, let me know. Send me an email. It's in the YouTube thing, in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.